I start my days with music, vibrations. Movement is what makes progress. Move. Ooh, that's the perfect temperature. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Luna Giselle. I'm back with another video. I know it's been a minute, but I just moved. How are y'all? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're living lovely, living healthy, going after your dreams, your aspirations. We went on a walk this morning at my favorite river, got into a vibe, got in touch with nature. Today, I wanted to talk about cultivating a strong sense of self-worth by deflecting projections that people may place on you, that people may cast on you, that ultimately can make us feel like we aren't doing something correctly or we're less than what we are. And we've all been victim to being projected on, and we've also been guilty. I've been guilty of projecting onto other people when you're not feeling 100% and you just gotta be honest with yourself about that. We're in an age of cancel culture, hate trains, bandwagoning, scrolling all day long. The times are uncertain right now, so a lot of people can be feeling more depressed and down more than usual, and so projections come with a little bit more of a sting when people try to project their insecurities on you, project what they think about you on you, which ultimately changes how you view yourself if you internalize that. Projections are essentially false claims that are latched onto you, spewed out onto you for the comfort and validation of the projector. Okay? The projector, the person that is casting those spells onto you or trying to say something to you to make you be put into a box, trying to put you into a box that they made up in their own head. That's just for their own validation. That's just so that they can feel better about themselves. It really ultimately doesn't have anything to do with you, who unfortunately is receiving these projections. Projectors victimize themselves. They like to bully. They like to push and pull and see how far they can get sometimes. They have burner accounts that they like to go on other people's pages and start spewing nonsense that they feel from their main account. Gotta drink tea because this is a real discussion, everybody. But ultimately, when you think about projection, honey, it's just a defense mechanism. They're trying to protect something about you and your energy and your light. Your expression, your just way of living is irritating the person who wants to project onto you. They want to invalidate your experience. They want to come in and have control over the situation and kind of have like an aha moment. They want to feel powerful by projecting onto you. They want to get rid of that projection, that energy that's within them, and put it onto you so that they don't have to deal with it anymore. So that they can feel alive in their life, so that they can feel happy with themselves. I feel like sometimes we forget that we can project onto ourselves subconsciously based on the content we consume. What we're seeing on the internet, and if you're feeling low or something, you're like, oh, I'll never be as good as them, or I'm not as beautiful as that person, whatever, kind of like beating yourself up when it's just not true. It's like you're lying to yourself. Remember now, emotions, they're always changing, just like the moon. It's always changing. They're never staying the same. So whatever you feel, the darkness that you feel at the present moment or whenever, just know that that's always going to pass. So you don't need to be lying to yourself, sending signals to your brain that are negative all the time, that aren't true to yourself, that aren't true about you and your character. Bruh, I know it's not true. I mean, some things are true, obviously. Everyone has pros and cons. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses. So, but you can't live in your weaknesses. You can't live in those doubts and stuff. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. We also have projectors or people in your life that might blame you. They're projecting their failures onto you. They will blame you for any type of circumstance in their life, why they aren't successful. Parents do this a lot. Why they didn't do whatever they were supposed to do with their life to ensure their success or something. They'll project and blame onto you so that they don't have to take responsibility for themselves. And it gets really painful dealing with some people's projections, because sometimes they come from the people who we value and care about the most, so it stings the most. But deflecting these projections and not internalizing them and changing based on the projections that other people are placing onto you, it all boils down to self-worth, baby. How do you feel about yourself at a core level? Do you know yourself? It's not even just self-worth, because I feel like that term gets used a lot, but it's like, what do you feel about yourself? What characteristics do you have? What's your personality? What do you offer to the world? Compassion, love, patience, your arts, your talents, your ability to listen, things like that. Those are all positive traits that you need to remember about yourself. Who you know yourself to be versus the labels that people throw onto you. Ungrateful, uncompassionate, failure, stupid, ugly, anything like that. Those can all be deflected, because we don't need some people just are lying. Some people are basically calling themselves that. You know what I'm saying? It's not true for you. But you just happen to be taking the hit for that, unfortunately. For any negative claim to be made on our character, it really hurts, especially if you're one of those people who lives intentionally, wants to help people, is trying your best, but then people come around and start talking about the worst things ever, like about you, that aren't true. And it's like, you're trying to defend yourself and defend your point and validate your own self, but then it just starts to become like this cycle of like repeating, going in a cycle, because the projector is in so much pain. They want someone else to be painful with you. They want someone to be miserable with you as well. When you're dealing with a lot of people who constantly project their insecurities onto you, or project any type of label or misconception about you onto you out of jealousy, out of spite. Spite is the most annoying one. From an astrological standpoint, for my astrology followers here, we're looking at houses 1 through 4. How to develop our character a little bit more so that we can deflect these projections that come to us that can be harmful if consistently internalized. Houses 1 through 4 in astrology, you got the first house. This is you, your body, what people see when they come to you, your presence, what attracts people into you is this first house, the uniqueness of yourself, your body, like I said, your expression, if you will. The second house is your self-worth, your possessions, what you hold on to you, how you are internalizing the world and experiencing the world. Your senses lie here in the second house as well. Third house is your communication, your opinions, your thought, your intellect. Fourth house is your mind, your comforts as well, your home life, how you feel when all the lights are off. This is the fourth house. So I'm talking about these houses specifically, but the second house is the most important. It's associated with Venus. Venus is our pleasures, our values, what we choose to indulge in. The second sign of the zodiac is Taurus. So we're looking at Venusian themes here. But mostly we don't really have to talk about the planet as much as the second house, because all of the traits of your character are funneled through this second house as well, are expressed through this second house and second house lord. Why? Because it's our possessions. We don't go out in the street just walking naked. We have certain values and certain aesthetics that we choose based on, what we like and what we see ourselves being through the second house, or the clothes that we wear, the jewelry, the makeup, all that stuff. That's second house. So let me give you an example. Let me just try to make this very simple here. Let's go back to high school. So we're in high school, right? We have different groups of people. It's very cliquey in high school. You got the jocks and the popular girls and the cheerleaders, and then you got, I'm being very stereotypical here. Please just try to bear with me here. And then you got the theater kids, and you got, the anime club. I was a part of all of them, but belonged to none of them. Anyway, so you have the the jocks and the popular kids who wear Abercrombie and Fitch and Hollister have like the wealthier parents who get them out of drug charges when they're 17 because, you know, they have the good lawyers and stuff like that. And then you have the theater kids who like the thrift store and like to wear darker clothing because, you know, in theater you have to wear darker clothing in the theaters. When you're doing tech, you're wearing like a lot of khakis, dark overalls, things like that. And then you get the anime kids who have the bunny ears, who are shopping at Hot Topic and Spencer's, you know, who have like the little cat ears as well, little sweatshirts with the ears on the hoodie, like anime stuff. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, the battery died, but anyway, we get the jock, the traditional jock for this stereotypical sense, who bullies the anime kid, right, for expressing, for being himself, for changing up his style and choosing to express his interest or their interests through their style, calling him all types of names, you know, projecting his values or how he's perceiving the world onto this person. Mess, just a mess. What happens is when you're being consistently projected on by your peers who think they know it all or something, is that you start to internalize that after a while, after repetitive times. You're like, you start to think, okay, is there something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with me here? And there's nothing wrong with you. It's just everyone has a different perception and different frequency that we're vibrating on. Something I've talked about on my podcast. Check it out, Just Be Podcast by Luna Giselle. I talked about like just because you're perceiving life and you're on different frequencies, you have different opportunities, you have different environments that you live in, different beliefs and stuff like that. You're perceiving the world differently. And that's when people need to understand everyone's got their own experiences and their own environments that they're in. So they don't need to be put into a box by your projections just because you don't have that freedom, just because you don't feel that way, just because you messed up or anything like that, or because you're feeling shaky at the moment. Yeah, so that's what happens. And then people internalize that. The lesson that I want everyone to know to watch this video is, you know, you don't have to internalize that. That's not you. What other people are placing onto you, you don't have to carry that on and deem it true for yourself. Projections are the outward expression of people's poisonous perception. Keyword poisonous here. Poisonous perception that ultimately is debilitating, that is limiting, that puts people in holes, fills people with doubt all of the time. So how do we deal with this? Like I said, you don't internalize it, but you can't just leave it at that. So you need to cultivate this self-worth, this second house. Make it a little bit stronger, okay? Like, of course, you're already gonna have a second house. You're gonna have these issues. Dealing with that second house and, you know, making it stronger intentionally is what's gonna get you through and deflect these projections. Step 1, have something going for you. Have something going for you already, something you're interested in. It can be anything. Collecting something, paintings, drawings, getting a Pinterest, being on a Twitter group, being in a book club, film group, or whatever you want. Like, there's so many things on the internet that you can just find and join. Have something going for you on the side. So it's like when other people are projecting onto you, it doesn't really matter at all. I mean, think about Beyonce. This is a really bad example because obviously Beyonce is Beyonce, but think about Beyonce. If there was a hater for Beyonce, do you think she would be taking that on? No, she has something going on for her. She has something else going on for her. Someone call her ugly, can't sing, or whatever. All these lies, right? All these lies, projecting their insecurities onto Beyonce. She can't keep a man. Her marriage sucks. Whatever. She has something going on for her. She can't worry about that. So you need to have something going on for you outside of the realm of the projectors. This could be your family who's projecting on you constantly. You go home, they're always telling you something, you're always doing wrong, you never can do right. It's in their eyes, right? In their perception, you know, you're not doing correctly. But if you have something going with you for you on the side, you get validated over here, you feel connected over here on this side, like, oh, wait, no, I actually am doing something right. Have something going for you that you initiated, that you started, that you wanted to go towards. Have that going for you. You could be learning how to play piano, it could be learning how to play guitar, it could be anything like that. You need to pick up something, and then that becomes part of your second house because it belongs to you. It's part of your character. Okay. Oh yeah, and Beyonce, those Illuminati claims, like, she never really responded to them until Formation, when she released Formation, the song. Y'all haters corny with that Illuminati mess. You know what I'm saying? Like, she already has something going for her. A lot of people tend to base their self-worth on the other Venus house, which is the 7th house of relationships, partnerships, commitment, marriage, contracts, agreements, everything like that. People base a lot of their worth over there. And so they'll be jumping from relationship to relationship, not wanting to be alone because they're not developing the second house, the first Venus sign. They're developing that Libra. They're developing that other side, trying to connect with other people instead of developing the self. Remember I said houses 1 through 4. Consistently trying to get partnerships to validate you, trying to find validation makes you more vulnerable to projections, makes you internalize things more. And you know, someone says something to you and then you start to overthink it, and then you're like, okay, this is where this went wrong in this relationship, so then now I need to be like this, and you know, just tumbling down. It's like a domino effect. Okay, so we're going to bring it back to us. We're going to bring it back to the self. We're going to bring it back to our own initiative, our own worth, something that we're building on our own. Even if the relationship goes bad, even if our partner starts to project on us, we're able to easily deflect because we have something else going on for us. And that doesn't mean something else going on for you, relationships. You understand? It has to be something that you've made for yourself. I always say this, and I think it works for everything. Expressing more gratitude, just being more content with what you have and not what other people have, because once you start thinking that what you have isn't enough, you begin to be susceptible to being projected on and a target, because people can sense that aura when you're being vulnerable. I've had people walk up to me when I was feeling depressed and be like, would you like me to read you? Would you like me to cast a spell on you? Because I was feeling like crap. People can pick up on that stuff. So then all their anger and frustration is put out on you, and then you don't feel like you're not feeling strong enough to deflect those projections, thus internalizing it again. So expressing more gratitude, being more content with what you have, that's all going to be something that helps you be stronger so you can navigate these projections. And getting to know yourself more, just on an intimate level, spending more time in the mirror. I know that sounds vain, but it's actually helped me a lot. Like, for a while, I'm gonna be really honest here, I was not filming videos because I wasn't happy with the way I looked because of my other, it's a domino effect of other things. I was like, oh, I don't really, you know, like the way I look, but I hadn't looked in a mirror. I hadn't been taking any pictures. I haven't been showing. I was like, oh wait, by the time I started taking pictures again and like looking at myself in the mirror, I was like, no girl, you look good. Like, you look good. Like, spending more time in the mirror and appreciating the body that you have, you know, after a shower, being naked in the mirror, it's all like part of this self-worth. You can just see yourself and value yourself a little bit more because this is the vessel that you came with. So you have to appreciate it, right?
Do you know that some people don't wear shorts or skirts, mini skirts, because they say, oh, my cellulite is showing. My dear, do you know in arts, every imperfection is perfection. It's perfection. It adds to the price. It makes it expensive.
The people that say things to you that aren't true, you have to figure out, like, okay, so what is true about me? I am compassionate. I do this, this, and this, and this. I do this for my friends. Because a lot of the times people are projecting on you because they don't see what you're doing. They don't see all the hard work that you actually do to be the person that you are. So then they're projecting based on what they didn't even see because they're obviously living their own life. A lot of times people think we're just robots. We're just here for them. And especially if you're dealing with narcissists, they just think that everyone is here for them. You're available on their time, you're available on their schedule, and then when you're not and something goes wrong on their end because you didn't meet their expectation, it's this whole dilemma. And I'm like, whoo. So yeah, getting to know yourself on an intimate level, on a deep level, as a soul. What are you here to do? What is your mission? If you're not sure what you need to do, if you're not sure what your strengths and weaknesses are, this is when I'll be like, get an astro reading or and see what energies you have just in your natal horoscope. A lot of it's just mostly confirming and validating anyway, because you know what you want to do. You know, it's just sometimes you don't like to admit it. And if you're having confusion there and you don't really know, then that's when you need to stop lying to yourself and see, maybe you've been projecting onto yourself and creating this false character, and that's why you're confused. Or maybe you got Neptune transiting your first house. I don't know. I'm just kidding. How you start your day and how you end your day. This is a whole nother video that I'm gonna be discussing later. But how you start your day and how you end your day. What does that look like? Does it start with you? Are you the priority? Are you thinking about doing for others? Because once you become a pawn in people's life and you're just operating from other people, then those projections will boom, boom, punch you in the face. You don't even know what hit you. You don't even know that it's a projection. I didn't even know what projections were until I was like in my 20s, like 20, 21. And I just thought people were just mean. And I was like, dang, like, I'm taking the blame for all of this. They're calling me all these names, but no, this is how they feel on the inside. Because what are they doing with their life? You have to ask yourself those questions. It's like, once you notice someone's projecting on you, it's very easy to tell, like, oh, this is coming from a place of lack. This is coming from a place of uncertainty. This is coming from a place of, oops, I made a mistake. I didn't do great. Some shit like that. You gotta be able to recognize that so you can navigate. I see a lot of projections happening on the internet, on Twitter. People, because, you know, everybody is a keyboard warrior. Everybody can just say what they want to say when they want to say it, to whom they ever want to say it to. And so there's like no filter. So people be coming and commenting on people's posts, making burner accounts, and just doing all this crazy stuff based off someone's experience with the Pisces. Because people like to generalize things. They like to shift the blame. It's not because this person is a shitty person. Oh no, it's because they're a Pisces. So then another Pisces is coming on and being like, oh my God, how dare you say that about me? That's not true. And it's like this whole ordeal. Aries, oh my God, like, I'm not mean. I don't have that problem. I'm not like that. Because they're taking it personally. Everyone's taking everything personally. You can't be taking everything personally if you don't want to be projected on, because people have their own issues. People have their own dramas going on in their own head that we have to respect. You know, respect it. Respect it. You don't have to be a part of it. Mind your business, because you know your own business. Get a journal. I always say this. I always say pretty much the same stuff. It's because it's true. It works. But people don't realize it. Gotta get creative in some way. You gotta empty out your mind sometimes. You can't just be sitting here winging it. I promise you, you can't. Start doing things for fun and not for approval. Do things for fun and not for approval, so that you're not getting projected on consistently, so that you feel better about yourself. And another thing that's kind of hard, and sometimes I don't think a lot of people will agree, is like, don't respond to projectors. I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't have to receive that energy and not say anything. Because you don't have to receive it, honey. Have your force fields up. Projectors project, just let them project. Leave it alone. Like, leave it alone. Like, okay, have your moment. Have your moment. If I have the space for you, if on the internet or wherever, if you're feeling better by projecting onto me, then that's fine. I don't have to take it. Like, you do you. I'm gonna look at you different. I'm gonna look at you differently. I'm probably gonna start setting up boundaries and not letting you have access, you know, the block button. But I'm just gonna move on. I don't have to respond and start a war and start an argument based on a freaking projection, based on something that's not true. It's not true. So why are we engaging here? Why do I have to defend myself? Why do I have to talk to you? I don't. Lies. Liza Minnelli. Lies.
Liza Minnelli. Lies.
Right? Lies. Anyway, I don't want this video to get too long, and I don't want this battery to die. So I'll see you all next time in my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching and being patient with me as I come up with some content. Please consider subscribing to my Patreon, only $3 a month, where I have my astrological articles on there. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Engage with me. If you'd like to book an astrological consultation, I am open for January, so please go to my website, lunagiselle.com. Otherwise, thank you again. See y'all next time, and I'll see you in my next video.